It's been said that building a bridge takes two sides, but have you ever seen something exactly like this? Strap yourself in for another episode of things you'll see for the first time in your life if you want to figure out precisely what's going on in that clip, as well as see a whole bunch of other fantastic stuff. I believe we've all seen enough ugly children to realise that the phrase "all infants are lovely" is a complete fabrication, but I'm curious if you can predict what these strange-looking offspring become when they grow up. Hedgehog hoglets are the young of the hedgehog species. Baby hedgehogs resemble bloated, hairy tongues with legs in their first few days of existence, and it's a fascinating mix of charming and strange. Hedgehog ownership is outlawed in several parts of the United States, despite the fact that these spiky cuties appear to be the ideal pet. Hedgies are classified as wild animals in the state of California, as well as the cities of New York and Washington, D.C. This means they cannot be kept as pets. Prickly, to say the least. When you think about it, the sky is really spectacular. Clouds, birds, and floating heads call this place home. While this film may appear to be something out of a Japanese monster movie, it really shows a massive hot air balloon hovering over Tokyo City's Yoyogi Park. This peeping Tom turned out to be Musayumi, an artwork that was part of an exhibition that featured several random faces over the city. When translated from Japanese, Musayumi means dream come true, which is appropriate given that the artist Haruka Kojin got the concept for this project from a dream. This 65-foot-tall balloon picture was inspired by a real-life nameless city resident. I just hope they weren't too self-aware. Most individuals can't stomach looking at their own profile photo, let alone a big balloon of their own face. It's safe to assume that these floating heads got the attention they deserved, although I'm sure I'm not the only one who's looking forward to the eventual shout of, "Show me what you've got!" Thankfully, the situation in Tokyo was a bit less chaotic than it would have been if a true big head invasion from outer space had occurred. In the athletic world, there's no bigger foe than old Mother Nature herself, and terrible weather may truly make or break a fine game, according to one spectator to another. Take, for example, a traditional All-American baseball game. The sound of a strong crack as the bat makes contact with an approaching ball is familiar for onlookers. However, if that sound is frequently eclipsed by the boom of thunder, as in this following clip, viewers would feel a little bit uneasy. Unsuspecting fans at Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts were overcome with awe and possibly panic as numerous bolts of lightning struck around them. Directly over the field, a crackle can be heard in the sky. You can see every small detail of each bolt as it breaks across the sky since it's been slowed down for our viewing pleasure. The game was delayed for around 2 hours as the sky took center stage due to the strong lightning storm. Fortunately for the Boston Red Sox, this light show was not a terrible omen, as they went on to defeat the Kansas City Royals 6-2. It was a resounding success. If you let the storm continue, you would imagine that once the sun shines again, everything would be back to normal, right? As this following clip demonstrates, this isn't always the case.
Let's see if we can fry an egg.
That's correct, underneath this skillet there's no sign of a stove. Using only the heat from the sun, this egg was fried to perfection. The city of Vancouver, Canada was battered by a record-breaking heat wave on June 28, 2021, with temperatures reaching 89 degrees Fahrenheit. While most of us would welcome the opportunity to relax by a pool or simply throw a bucket of ice over our heads, British Columbia homeowner Arturo Mendez chose to absorb the heat by leaving a frying pan out in his front yard all morning. That is unquestionably one method to save petrol money. Arturo, who grew up in the desert of Sonora, Mexico, never anticipated to feel this much heat in Canada, but the sizzle is confirmation of the extraordinary heat. If you're ever invited to Arturo's for breakfast, you should be aware that he only serves eggs, sunny side up, of course. Unusual cooking methods are one thing, but have you ever wondered how some foods are actually made? There are hundreds of different kinds of fantastical-looking sweet delights out there in every hue of the rainbow. Candy producers are in the business of getting their hands filthy, which is a lot of fun to see. This is the process of manufacturing hard rock candy, if you're attempting to figure out what these men were up to. The process of making these delicious sticks hasn't altered much over the previous century, and it's being done in the traditional method using sugar boilers today. Sugar, syrup, and water are combined and cooked to a scorching 300 degrees Fahrenheit to make the candy. When the sugar combination reaches the desired temperature, it's poured onto a table with cold water beneath it, which helps to chill the liquid somewhat so it can be handled. However, the sugar boiler must respond quickly before the mixture solidifies. Although the edges of the combination cool first, the center can still be a blistering 250 degrees Fahrenheit, requiring extreme caution to avoid burns. Some of the combinations are then aerated and flavored in a machine. The transparent toffee mixture is transformed into a soft white component that forms the rock candy's core throughout this procedure. The combination is then wrapped in another layer of colored toffee by the sugar boiler, resulting in a massive pile of rock candy that's stretched into much thinner sticks, which then solidify into the final product we see in stores. Isn't it lovely? We all know that a magician should never divulge his secrets, but that doesn't stop others from snooping about and uncovering the magic at work. The subject of the following video, on the other hand, had his ruses revealed in the most public way possible. Take a look at it. In July 2021, the Chinese magician known as Embarrassing Man had his trick exposed publicly while performing on the streets of China. However, it appears that Embarrassing Man is having a good time, since he and his doppelganger, Pokerface Man, often publish films like this one on the famous Chinese sharing app Kuaishou, where they have over 700,000 followers. Who doesn't appreciate it when the curtain is drawn back like this? Although some people believe that some things are better kept hidden. I'll leave that up to you to decide. Now it's time for some more underwater wonders, and while we all know that dogs and even cats can be trained to do some pretty amazing things, I'm sure you've never seen anything quite like this.
How do you spell it?
Ah, this lovely tiny pufferfish follows its owner's finger through an underwater maze etched on the glass with pinpoint precision. The video, which was posted by aquarium enthusiast Amanda Montcrieff, shows that she was able to educate her pet puffer to become a real-life Pac-Man. Best of all, this porcupine pufferfish is only a baby, so who knows what this kid genius may do next. Let me know what you think in the comment section. The bond between humans and animals can be incredibly astonishing and even heartwarming, as our puffer companion just demonstrated. The teen in the next film, on the other hand, developed an entirely different type of connection with a water-dwelling critter who was only too pleased to pop up and say hi. Austin Craver was spending the day in the Florida Keys with his family, competing to see who could get the closest to the tarpon fish that lived there. Austin and his relatives, as insane as it may appear, planned for the tarpons to swallow their forearms as shown in the video. This is known as noodling and is quite popular in the southern United States. While most bites are innocuous, some noodlers have developed diseases as a result of them, and some have even lost fingers as a result. Despite the danger, Austin's family follows their own set of rules, which states that the person whose arm receives the most scratches from a tarpon's fangs gets $20. I'm not sure about you, but that's one family vacation plan I won't be considering. Take a look at this if you thought those tarpons' jaws were big. That isn't Optimus Prime's toilet after a Taco Bell dinner. You're gazing at the incredible real-size anchor chains that are used to weigh down enormous ships. When compared to the massive human-sized chain links, these men resemble mice. The biggest warships, such as aircraft carriers and transport ships, are anchored by these massive chains. While the anchor is commonly credited with performing all the work, the chain itself is so hefty that it contributes significantly to keeping things steady aboard ships that normally wear these chains. Rosa, an 8-year-old Mexican red-kneed tarantula, went on a show-stopping skin-crawling display as she shot off a layer of skin. Rosa spent roughly 6 hours coming out of her shell-like exoskeleton, which was compressed into just seconds in a time-lapse. This procedure, as terrifying as it may appear, is perfectly natural and required for tarantulas to grow. Rosa's molting shell serves as an exterior barrier to protect the spider's internal organs, as spiders lack internal bones like mammals. An exoskeleton, unlike human skin, does not grow in lockstep with the tarantula, so when they get too big for it, they simply shed it in a captivating and slightly sickening spectacle. But I have to say, it's very wonderful to think that while human children might receive a new winter clothing every year when they outgrow their old ones, Rosa gets a brand new body every year. While seeing a spider even a tenth the size of Rosa may send shivers down some people's spines, I believe I'd have a heart attack if I returned home to find this. The homeowners who were visited by this knowledgeable snake handler were the unhappy owners of an 8-foot-long snake that had made itself at home in their ceiling like a bug. The rescuer nearly appears to be saying the last words of a small prayer before prying open the bulging ceiling tile, and it's hard to blame him. This slippery creature also appears to have a little bulge in the centre of its long body, indicating that it's recently consumed something. I really hope these people didn't have a cat that vanished suddenly shortly before this video was taken. While no one knows how the snake got up there, one thing is certain. Ceiling snakes will be added to my ever-growing list of things to be concerned about late at night, thanks to the internet. So, which of the items we've seen today has most surprised or astounded you, especially in light of the prior few entries? Please let me know in the comments section below, and don't forget to check out some of the other episodes in this series. Thank you for watching.